here, Mona Lisa, she looks kind of yellow, right? Like she's not taking enough of vitamin C or something, right? That's because of the varnish on the painting. It sort of yellows over time.
I've always wanted to learn about the Mona Lisa.
Clementine, wouldn't you love just a trip to Paris? Jamais Paris.
Miss Georges, it's Jean Paris.
Maybe we could get some extra credit by visiting Louvre. Who doesn't love a spontaneous trip to the City of Lights?
Wow, the way that DV, Da Vinci, crafts the problem of suffering in his work is really just, if you like it so much, why don't you just take it then?
Honestly, it wouldn't even be that hard to do.
Let's go. I'm just gonna hang back here. I'll catch up with you guys in a second.
Bonjour. Oui, oui, baguette. J'ai fait tout, belle fille.
I know why I'm here. I mean, I only had €3 and I really wanted this stylish hat from the gift shop. Sorry.
We don't have time for interrogations. You obviously have the wrong people. Do we really look like thieves?
Listen, we said it wouldn't be too difficult to do, but we didn't actually do it.
We were, but our only agenda was to look at the art, not steal it.
The Mona Lisa? First of all, that doesn't go with the decor in my room. And second of all, I would never take one of DV's works.
We just left the Louvre. If we took it, wouldn't we have it with us right now?
Officer, you don't understand. We have a film festival to attend, and we are the hosts. They cannot and will not go on without us.
Guys, can we talk about the fact that it was Mr. Favada?
I know, it's crazy, right?
I don't think we have time to talk about that right now. Okay, ready?
Let's go. Yeah, let's do it. Come on.
Oh, hey. Didn't see you there. Today is the first night of our 2-day virtual film festival. Today we will be showing you videos in the PSA and documentary categories. Tomorrow, tune in at 7 p.m. for the experimental and creative categories.
We would like to thank Mr. Favada for his talented acting skills. Our first category tonight is public service announcements. The PSAs are usually short in length, about 30 seconds, but convey a universal message. Let's watch tonight's public service announcements.
Hey, Sacred Heart Film Festival. Billy Baldwin here. Good luck with the festival. Sorry I can't make it. I heard some of the pictures in the competition are outstanding. I've got a picture that's making the rounds right now, a short called Talk. We've been nominated many times on that circuit, and we've won, 10, 12 times. I've even won Best Actor, of course, a couple times. Wishing you well. Sorry I can't be there. Congratulations to all the nominees.
working on the initiative called the Period Project CT to help end period poverty in Connecticut schools. We are hopefully passing a bill that will provide free menstrual hygiene products in 6th grade to 12th grade bathrooms.
We reached out to Senator Bergstein and asked her if she would be willing to help us through the passage process of this bill. We had a forum for our bill. Other legislators attended. 1 in 5 girls miss out on school due to lack of access to menstrual hygiene products.
Without education, girls are falling behind in school and falling behind their male counterparts. My biggest hope with inspiring other girls is just to show them that they have a voice. People can't be afraid to be the first. Speak up and become passionate about an issue, because even if something like the bill doesn't pass, then you have made some lasting change.
I wonder who they think I am, what they think I'm doing, what's happening to me. I wonder how long it will take before I'm gone. Will they realize then that their plastic bottles are polluting my puddles of tears, and their plastic bags choking me, their running sinks bleeding me dry? I'm no longer a giving mother, rather a mother hiding from her children. What has happened? When did I become something to hurt and not something to love? I am their home, their place of refuge, and it won't be long before I fade away.
The kids are both in bed.
Awesome. Do you need a ride home?
No, I'm good. Thank you, though. Bye!
Hi, is this Safe Rides? I really need a ride.
The effects of global warming have been felt all over the world. A study found that glaciers could melt completely by 2100. We need to change the way we conduct business and conduct our lives before it is too late. Some people think we have time, but
My name is Hilo Piccolo, Piccolo, Hilo, Hilo Piccolo, Piccolo, yo! My name is Hilo Piccolo, Piccolo. My name is Hilo Piccolo, Piccolo, Hilo, Hilo Piccolo. Piccolo, yeah!
tobacco products out of the hands of minors. It continues to be a hot topic as the popularity of e-cigarettes and vaping continues to rise. Just last week, in fact, we told
California, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, Oregon, and now Kansas. Last Friday, the CDC issued a stark warning. If you are vaping, no matter how old you are, you should consider stopping.
Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoyed our PSA films for the night. Now to Clementine with the documentary category.
Hello, it's Mr. Mosby, and I am so excited to be announcing the documentary category. So get excited to meet activists and artists and influencers and, of course, future stars of the NBA. Ooh, and always remember, no running in my halls.
Dear Cancer, let us be clear that I am not angry with you. I feel instead like I was this complicit participant in this journey where you showed up and you were there to remind me that I need to take better care of myself. I'm glad now that after 6 months, I can show you the door with grace and gratitude and firmly tell you that I no longer need your services. Goodbye.
My name is Shiva Gofrani. I am an OBGYN, which means a doctor who takes care of women who are pregnant and a doctor who takes care of women in general when it comes to their pelvic health. What made me want to become a doctor is a long answer because I grew up with my parents both being doctors. So my dad is a general surgeon and my mom is a pediatrician. So up until I was about 8, in fact, I have a letter right there from when I was 8 years old. Mom, I want to be a doctor just like you. So 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and I was really lucky that it was found early. When I found it and went through chemotherapy and surgeries and things like that, I realized that so much of what women get anxious about is this fear about cancer. And everyone kind of walks around saying, I'm so fearful, I'm so scared, I'm so fearful, without really appreciating that cancer, unfortunately, is really common, but the vast majority of us will never, ever die of cancer. So when it was coming up on my 3-year anniversary of being diagnosed, I realized it was kind of a captive time for me to ask everyone, because people were kind of following me on Facebook and on Instagram, and I thought, okay, well, people are paying attention, maybe now is the time to start a foundation. I created a foundation called Big Love Fierce Juju, really a little bit like on the fly. And I had these bracelets made a couple years ago that says Big Love and Fierce Juju and a little acronym on it. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just ask patients for small donations and then I'll just send them a bracelet. And I thought I'll post a little video and maybe 10 people will do it. This will be the beginning of my foundation. And within 4 days, I had raised like $4,500. Just donating money to ovarian cancer research is not necessarily going to help us. It's still happening, so we all need to realize and appreciate kind of how to approach our health as we get older. I came up with this name, Big Love Fierce Juju, because a particular patient and I had been texting about some of the health issues she was going through. And my first inclination would have been to say, I'm really sorry. So instead I said, I'm going to send you my big love. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, I found myself saying, and fierce juju, because juju is kind of one of those indefinable terms. I ultimately want my foundation to potentially have 2 prongs. One prong is going to be money that's put aside for people to have help with all of the smaller, less definable issues that a lot of foundations or hospitals don't give the money for. The much bigger part, ideally, I would like is some structured model where I can help women lose their fear, basically, about anything, but ideally about health issues. I keep hoping that me having had ovarian cancer is a great thing, because I can show everyone, look, this is what the face of ovarian cancer could be. I mean, when I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and I still sometimes cry thinking about it, people were so genuinely just wonderful. I feel like I'm lucky that I feel like I impact my patients, but they have impacted me back because they've helped me so much.
My name is Jenna. I was diagnosed with dyslexia at the end of 3rd grade.
Kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, she didn't know that not everybody saw what she saw and what was going on and stuff. So she had no idea that this was actually a disability and something that she could never fix herself.
So my mom went to all the teachers to pick the best teacher that would teach a dyslexic like me. I get study guides that were the smallest little print that you could barely see. Everybody kept asking me, do you not know how to read? And I was like, no, I do know how to read, like, I just can't. Because at the time, I honestly could not read, but it's still like, it just made you feel so emotionally like broken.
In 4th grade, she's like, I don't want to go to school anymore, I'm stupid, I'm dumb. So I only saw that part of it, of her withdrawing from school. I didn't realize until she'd gone through, sorry, all that she actually, was being bullied. It was tough.
I know a lot of states have a lot of laws for dyslexics, which makes me happy, but when I found out there wasn't any laws for dyslexics in Georgia, I kind of felt kind of attacked. Senator PK was the one who decided to make the bill, and they ended up deciding to make a law where it's mandatory testing for all students, because if you don't know who's dyslexic, you can't just like look in a room and be like, that kid's dyslexic. I got involved because I wanted to like help push for this bill, because this bill was so important. And we actually had dyslexia day at the Capitol, and then I talked in front of the entire council. It was like a decently sized room, and it was kind of really scary. And there was like a camera on me and everything, and I had to speak into a microphone, and like Senator PK, he was like, hi Jenna, like, what would you like to say? So then I said my story about my 4th grade teacher and how I felt stupid.
I mean, her testifying in front of the Senate and got, all these people looking at you and actually talking about something that was hurtful to her. And it's not going to benefit for her in the future. It's going to benefit students behind her. So it's not something that she was looking to gain for herself. It was to make it right so nobody has to go through what she's gone through.
Definitely felt really empowering just to talk in front of them and have them like nodding and listening, and like they're very like focused on what I was saying. And I was crying, my mom was crying, everybody was crying. And it was after the Senate passed completely, so then it ended up on Governor Kemp's desk. Actually, it passed on my birthday, which was really exciting. I was like, yay, happy birthday to me. I was like, the bill got passed through the entire like Congress on like my birthday.
I'm proud of her because of all she's done to advocate for students with dyslexia and has made awareness. She's spoken in front of her entire school about what she's gone through, and being on cheerleading and being the captain. So many students came up to her and going, I have that too, and what did you do? And made it known for them that they have a chance and stuff, and nobody knew it. And she explains to them it's not a disability that I've lost a limb or an arm or something that you can see. This is something you can't see.
Dyslexia made me who I am. Like without dyslexia, I probably would be an awful person, to be honest. Sorry. It's just built me into the person I am today, and it means so much to me because it's not a disability. It's like my own little superpower.
about this one?
Hey,
Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue.
Move this around. Let's do it.
Sing a rainbow.
Wait.
Sing a rainbow.
Another song for me.
Sing. Which one? You want to ask for a song?
HeartSong's mission is to provide a creative arts therapy program, which would include music, art, and dance therapy for people who have disabilities. And the therapists use the arts as a tool to promote those skills. So it's not about us teaching someone how to draw or how to play an instrument. We use the instruments as a tool towards the therapy.
As a music therapist, I always talk about the difference between music therapy and music teaching is you're working with a certain population to achieve certain goals that aren't just musical. It could be speech, it could be social, it could be emotional.
I have been working at HeartSong since 2008, so I'm now in my 11th year. What made me take the job here is I was interviewed 11 years ago, and the young lady just left with her mother. And the mother told me the story about when she first came to HeartSong at 5 years old. She was totally nonverbal. And she just kept bringing her back to music therapy week after week after week. And then one day in the car, as they were leaving, she started singing in the back seat of the car. And it's like, okay, you got me. The clients are just amazing people, and you really do get a healthy respect for the personalities and the love that they show. And even though they have a disability, that you really do get to understand them as people, which a lot of people don't.
The session runs where we do like the hello song. We try to get the kids to interact. Some sort of song with movement and, some sort of song with instruments. Like with some of the lower functioning clients, I have a choice board if they don't talk. At the end of the session, I have a goodbye song where I usually have everyone back in the circle and passing around a certain instrument.
This program was founded in 1992 as a free program, mainly because insurance companies didn't cover a lot of the therapies that many people with disabilities have. Economic downturn, whatever, we can't do that anymore and survive, so we have to charge a fee. But we have a very healthy scholarship program, so it's just digging under every single bush, just trying to raise funds. But I think the one thing that people know HeartSong for is we don't turn anybody away. So if you have a severely impacted child, that child can come here and we will deal with them and work with them.
Hi, I'm Liv Bonner. I'm 20 years old and I'm in my third year at Parsons School of Design in New York City. Where I grew up in Westchester and Portchester, New York, art was definitely a hobby, not like a profession or a career that people went into. So it wasn't necessarily discouraged, but it wasn't encouraged either. So I'm really the only person I know that went into art from where I'm from. So while I've always been interested in it, it was kind of a last minute, like spur of the moment thing that I decided to come to Parsons School of Design. I have kind of an issue with like prompted projects. I get kind of annoyed with the prompts and don't really love what I make because they're so specific. Like Parsons is like highly conceptual, so basically they'll give you a concept instead of like a material prompt. So like doing this, okay, this is my face casted, and I had to like sit in a cast for like 2 hours, and it was really fun. And it was in response to like a project that was asking like one thing you want to protect and one thing you want to destroy. And so like I want to protect like my youth and like my face. I really don't want to get old. I'm like really detrimentally nostalgic, and then I like don't want to destroy my eyes. Like my biggest fear is going blind. So yeah, so I just made a face cast and it was super fun, and I want to do it every year to like track my aging. Once I started getting into art, I would realize that like I could incorporate writing in art, and
and kind of speak to people through art. It seemed like all my friends had very set paths, and while they had passions and like their own personal ambition, I felt that I wanted to be different and kind of do something that I was vaguely interested in but wasn't certain about. And I think choosing to go to art school, people were really shocked by it and thought that I was entirely confident in my decision and that I wanted to work as a fine artist and pursue this for my lifelong career. But that wasn't really the case. I just realized that I had this amazing opportunity to come to one of the best design schools in the world, and to live in the city at such a young age is such a privilege. And I just wanted to learn as much as I could about myself through studying art. And I want to make art for the sake of art, and I want to study philosophy for the sake of learning about the world and learning about my mind.
More than 15,000 scientists are sounding an alarm about climate change. They call it a warning to humanity.
Climate change is likely to make this year's wildfires and flooding the new normal.
So, why are we not reducing our emissions? Why are they in fact still increasing? Are we knowingly causing a mass extinction? Are we evil?
The public conversation about climate change is larger and louder now than it was during my growing up and in the years sort of leading up to now. And maybe the past 2 years that it's been tremendous. Those are also the years in which people who are around your age are most likely to be thinking about, how am I going to live in the world? What is my life going to be like? What are my responsibilities? What am I going to do? How am I going to stay alive? How am I going to take care of people in my life? Will I be able to do things that make me happy? With those things coinciding, I can see how that is producing a lot of urgency for some people, and then maybe for other people also like almost a nihilistic feeling. When we're talking about why don't people care, I think that there's sort of a slice of people who both care and have found a pathway to action that works for them. And then there's sort of a slice of people who don't care. And in the middle is this big mush of people who care but, and then have a number of different things to fill in for the but. The thing that scares me the most is the collapse of oxygen-producing plankton, phytoplankton, in the ocean, which make about between half and 2/3 of the air that everybody needs. All oxygen-breathing creatures need this air that these little plants make. So if they stop doing that, combined with deforestation and other kinds of habitat destruction and other strains that capitalism is creating on the ecosystem, we won't be able to breathe anymore. And it seems like a shame. It seems like a shame to me that most of us who are here and all of the incredible and complicated relations among us should be destroyed for a few people's bad reasons.
Hi, I'm Margot Lee. I am a content creator on YouTube and I'm a student at Newhouse. I think it's really crazy, the idea that I don't like to use the word fans, but that I have people that are so supportive of me on all of my different social media platforms, and I recognize those names. There's tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of people supporting me on every move I make, which is, I can't even fathom that. I think even meeting people that might come up to me, it just makes my day because it puts a face to these numbers. I never expected my YouTube hobby and passion to become a career, and I feel so lucky that it has. I've met such incredible people. I've been able to travel the world, which traveling is one of my favorite things ever. So to be able to do that for a job at such a young age, I just feel so privileged and so lucky. The work that I've put in, which has been a lot of work and it's been a lot of time, but it has absolutely paid off 100 times forward. I think my biggest challenge with YouTube has been staying really consistent, and I think it's good that that's been a challenge because it's kept me accountable, uploading videos weekly or bi-weekly. If I know that I have to get an essay done or a video done or work on content for a brand that I'm working on, then that's my first priority. I think being passionate about what I'm doing has a huge effect on my work and how I'm able to get it all done. My most rewarding moment that I've had through my YouTube career has also been probably the craziest moment and experience I've had in my whole life. I just got off of 2 planes. I was traveling for 20 hours to the other side of the world, and I was in Fiji, and we got on this little dinghy boat to get to this resort that we were staying at for a brand. So a brand flew me out there, and I was with other content creators, and I was sitting on this dinghy, and I had this moment that just hit me that I was on the other side of the world with a huge group of people that I barely knew at the time. And I was just thinking, what the heck have I gotten myself into? So I think that was one of the pinch me moments where this is so incredible, but it's also that this career path has put me in these positions that I could never dream of or imagine. Being able to be a YouTuber and be in this position, as a woman, I feel like I have so much power to create content that I can make whatever I want, and I can talk directly to other girls, and I know who my audience is. I can look at the data. So yeah, it is numbers, but meeting people and seeing all these girls that I'm able to interact with is so empowering. So I think this job has just given me such a great opportunity to be a woman in power in whatever sense that might make sense to you, but it's just been a really amazing opportunity that I would never give up.
Archbishop Stepinac High School in White Plains, New York is home to one of the top 20 varsity basketball teams in the country. To date, this year's team has amassed Division I offers from over 50 colleges and universities across the country. Senior guard R.J. Davis, the now Westchester County all-time leading scorer, will attend the University of North Carolina next fall, and junior forward Adrian Griffin Jr. has committed to Duke University. Beyond being called one of the hardest working high school teams in the country, this diverse group of players is more than just a great basketball team. It is a family. One purpose: to win.
My mom and dad and my little brother, they pushed me to, I would say, play to my full potential. Obviously, when I don't, I would hear the criticism, the bad things, but they pushed me to just do it for them. That's my reason why I also play basketball.
Our guys all come from different backgrounds, all over Connecticut, Westchester, the Bronx, the boroughs, and everybody has a different background. It's being open about that and communicating that to each other allows for you to be a really good team.
Just the bond and relationships that you create with not only your teammates but with the whole student body. I mean, everyone's supportive at the school, and they come show support through even academics-wise. There's teachers that will help you if you see you're struggling, and basically step next to family.
Opened a lot of doors for me, especially like next level. Because here at Stepinac, they tried to get you to college, so I picked up about 13 D1 offers in like a span of 1 summer. So I kind of credit Stepinac to that, getting me those opportunities.
With Stepinac basketball, we try to provide that platform for our guys to maybe escape from some personal problems they have going on, or difficult background wherever they might be commuting from or at home, and allow them to open up and be in a spot where they're happy and they're successful. And that's something we also take pride in on and off the court.
watching my mom come home tired from work and stuff like that. Watching her work hard. So I say basketball can allow me to make a better life for her as well as for me. Like when you're playing basketball, you don't worry about anything in the outside world. You just like focus on that game and winning that game. So I say it just takes my mind off all those outside things. My mom, definitely. She always criticizes me like after every game. Tells me like what I could have done better. So like she's like really my biggest hater and my biggest fan at the same time.
I think it has. I believe basketball has helped me become a leader on and off the court. As far as, just being a leader, it has made me more vocal, and for on the court I have to, guide the young guys who are new, and off the court it allows me to, participate and just speak my mind.
It's actually funny because like whenever I do like a cool dunk, I'm just like in my head like, wow, I really just did that. like I don't believe it.
And I would say, I'm gonna give a shout out to my teammates, Matt, Luke, Sam, Malcolm, Jonah. I'm proud of you guys. Let's get another city and state championship.
My eyes are stuck on her. Her eyes don't leave her feet.
No No Boy is a multimedia storytelling project, basically, that combines research into Asian American histories, really beginning with Japanese American internment, but it is now a much wider project. So it combines that research, those stories from the archives, from newspapers, from oral histories, and turns them into folk songs.
Oh no no boy.
I think when I was growing up, I remember talking with my dad and my family, and I remember hearing this word Heart Mountain thrown around, not really understanding what it meant, but knowing that my grandmother had been in a camp during World War II.
Good years on a mountain.
So I decided to apply to PhD programs in American Studies and ended up at Brown. When I got to Brown, there was a group of graduate students who were working on Asian American histories, but also Japanese American internment more specifically. And so we organized a trip that was traveling from Phoenix, Arizona, up to Bainbridge Island off the coast of Washington State, where Japanese Americans were removed from during World War II. There were two musicians with us. One was also a graduate student, Julian, who was my colleague in No No Boy. So at different stops, we would play music, we would sort of like walk around and talk to who was there and just sort of see the way that history continued in these places. And so Julian and I started kind of singing together. Julian had started writing songs based on oral histories and research that he'd done.
Instructions to all persons of Japanese ancestry.
When Julian and I got back to Brown or we started school, we kind of just kept going. It was a really special way to tell these histories in a way that brought people in. We went on tour last fall and traveled around the country for about 8 weeks. And it was a way of just trying to sort of break down what people think of when they hear the term Asian American or Asian American history. A lot of the stories were just about like individuals, kind of quotidian daily life stories, but with very different characters than we're used to seeing.
Idle dragon park, sitting watching do Tai Chi.
So one of our friends described our music as giving you a nostalgia for a history you never learned. So it was like a way that these songs felt so familiar, but then the histories were completely unfamiliar. That sort of uncomfortable, jarring feeling was sort of what we were going for through a lot of these stories. So we'd sing songs about kids falling in love in internment camps. So that kind of familiar love story, but in a really unfamiliar setting in a lot of ways. But as a way of being like, this is what history is. It's really messy. There's no sort of happy, clear ending. And we just sort of would lay out these stories for people and let them sort of make their own connections. And No No Boy kind of provided this really wonderful way of experimenting with some of those ideas.
Young blood and old songs, we're dancing like two candles in the dark.
When I was growing up, I think what inspired me most was nature. At one point, we actually lived in the forest in tents. For my father, it was the hardest time of our life, for obvious reasons. But for me, it was my favorite time because we were just surrounded by trees, and all day I would spend my days like looking and examining the trees, being up in the trees, walking through nature. I was never scared of the forest. And always when I was in that world of forest and animals, I felt like my feet were on the ground. Almost that's where I was meant to be. I modeled for just about 20 years. I started at 15 and I ended probably about 2010, 2011 as we were sort of coming out of the financial crisis. Fast forward about 4 or 5 years ago, my significant other, David, and I sort of looked at the map and followed the equator around the globe and said, where should we go? We want to go somewhere new. And we end up in Africa area. We landed basically in the hands of the grandfather of the family, Dr. Ian Douglas Hamilton. He's really is the godfather of elephants. He's been researching elephants for as long as Jane Goodall's been researching the chimps. And they started to tell us about what was going on with the ivory trade. And over the year, we started to think about what we were going to do and how we were going to do it. And we started to put together this campaign, Not on My Planet, a Not with a K, which basically pays homage to the fact that elephants never forget. And we tie knots, at least we used to a lot more, to not forget something, not to forget awareness of a disease or a cause, something like that. Then that was the beginning of our campaign, and we asked a whole bunch of people to post for us as we sort of put it all together. So basically though, in that campaign, what we found is we had so much exposure, but we had very little funds. But we were like, how can we use this? We have an engaged audience. How do we turn this into money? And basically, we approached brands. Tiffany basically, they call us in for a meeting, kind of not far after our launch date, and they were like, we made a collection for you called Save the Wild. And we're like, okay. And that was kind of all in the beginning of like, wait a minute, this is such a great idea. And they're like, and we're gonna donate 100%. And so they set the bar. In 2018, we did our first collaboration with Louvre, which they actually have these mini elephant bags. The collection was so special because they got the Samburu women, which is the women in northern Kenya, that are renowned for their beadwork. They got them to do all the beadwork on the bag. So it was this collaboration with a women's co-op in northern Kenya with women who actually live with elephants too. We never thought it would be that successful. And it was literally like one day we got married to something and we didn't plan to get married, and now we're fully committed.
Although we're not at Sacred Heart, we still have the opportunity to judge our favorite films. Stay tuned for a chance to win a prize and pick your favorite films.
Now it's time for the Audience Award vote. Tonight you will get to vote for your favorite films in the PSA and documentary categories. We will show you a screen with an image from each video you saw tonight. Once you have decided on your favorite film in each category, send a text message to the number 502-219-3906. In the body of the text message, text a number that corresponds to your favorite piece. For example, if you want to vote for Something's Brewing in the PSA category, send a text to the number 502-219-3906 with the code 10. You may only vote for one film in each category, and voting closes in 5 minutes, so please vote now. Now it's time for the Audience Award vote. Tonight you will get to vote for your favorite films in the PSA and documentary categories. We will show you a screen with an image from each video you saw tonight. Once you have decided on your favorite film in each category, send a text message to the number 502-219-3906. In the body of the text message, text a number that corresponds to your favorite piece. For example, if you want to vote for Something's Brewing in the PSA category, send a text to the number 502-219-3906 with the code 10. You may only vote for one film in each category, and voting closes in 5 minutes, so please vote now. Now it's time for the Audience Award vote. Tonight you will get to vote for your favorite films in the PSA and documentary categories. We will show you a screen with an image from each video you saw tonight. Once you have decided on your favorite film in each category, send a text message to the number 502-219-3906. In the body of the text message, text a number that corresponds to your favorite piece. For example, if you want to vote for Something's Brewing in the PSA category, send a text to the number 502-219-3906 with the code 10. You may only vote for one film in each category, and voting closes in 5 minutes, so please vote now. Now it's time for the Audience Award vote. Tonight you will get to vote for your favorite films in the PSA and documentary categories. We will show you a screen with an image from each video you saw tonight. Once you have decided on your favorite film in each category, send a text message to the number 502-219-3906. In the body of the text message, text a number that corresponds to your favorite piece. For example, if you want to vote for Something's Brewing in the PSA category, send a text to the number 502-219-3906 with the code 10. You may only vote for one film in each category, and voting closes in 5 minutes, so please vote now.